Hello students, welcome back to our another lesson. First, I want you to have a recall. Can you still remember the 21st century literary genres? Let us see. Can you still remember the story through text and illustrated images? Correct, that is illustrated novel. Second one. What is triple media literature? Yes, you're right. That is digifiction. Third, what is narrative in comic book formats? Yes, that is graphic novel or graphic fiction. The fourth one, what is the Japanese word for comics? We call it manga. Number 5. What is literary presentation incorporating doodle writings and drawings? You're right. Doodle fiction is the correct answer. Number 6. What are blogs, email, and IM format narratives? We call it text talk novels. Number 7. What are chick literature? That deals with womanhood. From the word itself, we call it chick lit. Number 8. What is a very short story? Correct, that is flash fiction. 9. What are fast and fun bite-sized narratives? You're right, 6-word flash fiction. Number 10. What is also known as literary nonfiction or narrative nonfiction? Yes, that is creative nonfiction. Number 11. Sci-fi is another term for this, and it is actual or imagined science upon society or individuals. That is science fiction. Number 12. A regularly updated website or web page. Correct. That is blog. And last but not the least, digital poetry that uses links using hypertext markup. That is hyperpoetry. Good work and job well done for remembering our previous lessons in the first quarter. For today, we will be discussing the two literary genres. Have you read flash or graphic fiction? How do they differ from one another? This module focuses on these two 21st literary genres, the flash fiction and the graphic fiction, which are more appealing to most of the learners like you than reading conventional literary texts. These two 21st literary genres become very popular, especially among learners like you. Modern literary genres gain popularity due to the advent of technologies such as internet and other visual media, which become the major platforms of most of modern literary texts like graphic and flash fictions. Graphic fiction and flash fiction are two different genres of modern literature. Now, we will be discussing the graphic fiction and flash fiction with their in-depth comparison, definition, and examples. Let's have first graphic fiction or a graphic novel. It is a comic book narrative that is equivalent in form and dimension to the prose novel. The pictures are arranged in sequence in image panels and dialogues are written in speech bubbles. The illustrations allow the readers to imagine and experience the characters and events in the story. Here are some of the features of graphic fiction or graphic novel according to Singh in 2012. First, autographic forms are the marks of author's handwriting, which creates an impact that the whole novel is a manuscript and thus provides a sense of intimacy. Autographic forms are the original author's handwriting. for you to easily understand the author's sense of intimacy with you as a reader. Second, graphic novels encourage interactivity in the minds of the readers as he fills in the blanks between image panels. Third, filling in the blanks between image panels makes the reader imagine the actions portrayed in the story. Together with the images or illustrations in each panel, you will be able to understand more the links between image to another image as portrayed in the story. Number 4. The language, syntax, and meaning of a graphic novel spring primarily through the relationship between images than words. 5. Graphic fiction combines book and screen. Let's have some examples. Let's have first In the Shadow of No Tower, 9/11, which was made by Art Spiegelman in 2004. This tells the story about the terrorist attack on September 11 in America. This also depicts the traumatic and tragic experiences of American people during the 9/11 terrorist attack. We are very familiar with this historical event in America. And this was given a graphical fiction by Art Spiegelman in 2004. As you can see, on the left bottom side is the graphic fiction made by Art Spiegelman. Next, we have The Barn Owl's Wondrous Capers by Sarnath Banerjee in 2009. It portrays 18th century Calcutta exploiting the myth of the Wandering Jew. Next, Louis Riel by Chester Brown in 2003, which is a fictionalized violent rebellion in the 19th century on the Canadian Prayer led by Riel. Now, let us discuss flash fiction. Flash fiction is imaginative literature of extreme brevity. It could range from a word to 1,000, and it is known as microstories, postcard fiction, nanotales, and shorts. According to Sustana in 2020, most of the flash fictions have these common characteristics. First is brevity. Flash fiction presents the story with fewest words as possible. Brevity means shortness. Next, complete plot. Flash fiction emphasizes the development of plot. It has a beginning, middle, and ending of the story. Although a flash fiction has brevity or shortness, still, it has complete plot, having the beginning, the middle, and the ending of the story. And last common characteristic is a surprising ending. The successful hallmark of a flash fiction is its twist at the end of the story. Here are some of the flash fictions. First, Angels and Blueberries by Tara Campbell, which is a story of various explanations for the color of the sky that involves angels and blueberries. Let's have a line from Angels and Blueberries. The first line says, "Why is the sky blue?" you ask. Well, it all depends on who's answering. Next is Taylor Swift by U. Bem Steinberg, which tells a weird story of how anyone can order a perfectly clone of Taylor Swift at his doorstep. Let's have its first line. "You're in love. It's great. You swipe on your phone and order. The next day, a Taylor Swift clone shows up at your house." And third, we have Unnecessary Things by Tatiana Tolstaya, which is a story of finding an old and torn teddy bear. Unnecessary things are items that do not serve any useful purpose that she adored as a child. First line says, "This teddy bear once had ember eyes made from special glass. Each one had a pupil and an iris. The bear itself was gray and stiff, with very fur. I adored him." That is all for the two literary genres. I hope you understood flash fiction and graphic fiction and can differentiate the two through their examples. Now, let's see the activities to be answered. First, you will be answering What's New, entitled My Freaking Alarm. Read it before answering the processing questions. Next, What's New, The Unlucky Winners. There are also processing questions right after reading it. Next, what's more activity 1, finding similarities. In here, you will be writing down the characteristics of 21st century literature present in both genres, which are graphic fiction and flash fiction. Next, what's more activity 2, finding differences. In here, you will be completing the graphic organizers by writing down elements unique to each genre. Next is what's more activity 3, comparing and contrasting between genres. In here, as you have read My Freaking Alarm and The Unlucky Winners, you will write their similarities and differences using a Venn diagram. And for our performance task number 2 in What I Can Do, you will be making your own 3-panel comic from the written 30-word story in our module. The 30-word story by Frances Felizmino. And the rubrics are stated in our module as well. Those only are the activities that should be answered from our module. And for example, this is how your 3-panel comic should appear based on the 30-word story from our module. And some more important things to remember, answer all activities in FB group page for the digitized students and on yellow paper for the printed students. And of course, read with full understanding so that you will be answering your activities correctly and properly. That would be all. Thanks for watching this.